Hello everybody, I have the privilege to talk to you again, last time, and hopefully God's going to be using this time to speak it. And I'm going to speak on light and darkness today. So I want you to start, close your eyes please, and I'm going to tell you the story, and I want you to visualize it. It's really important for the message. So, imagine that you are in the New York Yankees stadium. It's at night, and have the lights, and it's full, packed full, lots of people, and everybody's really excited about it, and everything's just really going well. And you're like, wow, that's a cool game, and everybody steering up and everything. And a sudden, everything just turns black. You put your hand before your eyes, you can't see. It's just pitch black. And you start seeing the confusion, and people are screaming. This is massive there, and nobody knows where to go, and everybody's pushing, and all this confusion. Imagine now that you have a little flashlight. Imagine when you turn this flashlight, what happened? A little light. Everybody turns to look at you. Everybody looking at you. Imagine they're looking at you for direction. Where to go? Because you have how to go. You can open your eyes now. Imagine that we are the light of this world. We are called to be the light of this world. We have the light, and this world needs to be shining. And I want to talk about that today, that we are the light that shines in this dark world. This is a dark, dark world. Statistics tells us in the National Center of Health and Statistics that about 50% of every man under 45 years old is going to get divorced. 50%, that's huge. That shows how much this world is dark. Also, 40% of the new babies born today, think every day, 40% of the new babies born in America are born in a house that's missing one of the parents. It's not when they have a covenant, wedding, that kind of stuff, they just born. 40%, almost half of every American is born in a dysfunctional family. It's huge. Our world is in the darkness. And also according to the Planned Parenthood, in America alone, almost 4 children are aborted every day. Abortion is huge. Almost 4 children in America is aborted every day. We are in the dark world. In John 5:9, we know that he says that our world lies in the darkness. We can see that the darkness is everywhere. And we see that this is really a problem now in our world. But Jesus, in Matthew 5:14 through 16, he called his disciples to be a light to this world. We as Christians, we are called to shine our light in this world. And shine so people can see. And shine so make the difference in the world. So people can know the direction where to go. We're called to shine our lights in this world. And imagine what would be the best picture of a light shining in a hill. On the top hill. Jesus, when he said about in Matthew 5:14, 17, 16, he said, you should shine your light. Because if you have a light and you put in a dark below your bed, you're not going to do that. You're going to put in a high place where it's going to get the maximum effectiveness. You're not going to get the light you have and put in a place where it's not going to shine too much. Like we see the light bulbs outside, we put in a place where it shines the most, where it gets more light inside. So that's what we want to do. And what is the best picture we could have for something that shines its light and give direction to it? Imagine about a lighthouse. A lighthouse is put in a purpose place. They have a purpose there because it's shining in a place where it's dangerous, where it's preventing from ships to shipwrecking on the rocks. So they're put in a specific positions to shine the light so the ships, they can find direction. And also, the lighthouses, they have a place where the ship can know where the ship is and how to get safely to the shore. Because because that light's coming from a safe place. So we are called to be a light in this world and shine our lights so people can know where to go. In my honeymoon, I went from California to Oregon. I visited several lighthouses, and I could learn a bunch about lighthouses. There are several lighthouses that I noticed that they're beautiful, and their lights are so cool, and they have the lenses clean and translucent. You can see it through. It was beautiful. But also I saw many lighthouses that didn't even have lights anymore. they're broken, and their glasses are dirty, and you barely could see through the glasses. And I saw that many of us, we see out there in the world, the Christians that don't have a light anymore. They are like a lighthouse. It looks like a lighthouse, have the appearance of a lighthouse, go to church maybe, but they don't shine their lights. Their lights are not shining the world. It's not making the world what they are created for. The main reason why we are in this world is to shine our lights. We are called to shine our lights in this world. So also another thing that I noticed when they're looking for the lighthouses was that the lighthouses had to have their lenses very clean. And that's one of the things that sin is like a stain. It's like a dirt on the window. It prevents the light to shine through the window. It's hard to see through the window if it's dirty. You need to clean. In the same way, sin prevents our relationship with God. Our relationship, sin is a breaking of our relationship with God. God is a holy God, and He can't dwell with sin. So when we sin, we are breaking our relationship with God. Think about this picture now. You have seen someone have a stroke and have a side of their body paralyzed? Have you ever seen someone like that? Mm-hmm. They can't move their arm. They have the arm and they think, but it doesn't move. Mm-hmm. But through physiotherapy and working, making exercise, they start getting their movements back, slowly start getting back. You know, when you think, you don't need to think, oh, okay, I'm going to move my arm up like there, or I'm going to move my arm down like there. No, it just moves. You just do like this and start moving. In the same way, our relationship with God must be like we are so synchronized in such harmony with God that God just talks to us and we are moving. Because sin blocks it. As much as we practice, as much as we work our relationship with God, the more synchrony we got with God, the more we can work this with God. Another example is when I saw lighthouses and I saw the light there, and in the old times they would have, fuel that would make the flame going. And then the lighthouse keeper, he had to keep the light going. He needed to make sure that the fuel was full so that the lighthouse could keep going and not run out the light. So in the same way, our relationship with God, we need to keep our fuel going. And how we do that? We do through our relationship with God, constant relationship with God. Jesus, speaking to the disciples, He gave this example of He being the vine and the disciples being we are disciples being the branches. A branch that's not connected to the vine cannot bear fruit. So in the same way, if we're not connected to God, we can't let our light shine because our sources come from God. So we can only shine if we're connected to God. So today, like if we want to be a lighthouse for God and shine our lights, we have to be connected to God. Connect to the source of power. Our power comes from the light. So how do we keep shining our lights? We have to have a personal relationship with God. Now, how do you get to know God? How do you get to know God? Well, let's think how you get to know anybody here in this room. How you get to know someone that you want to know. We can read about someone. You can read a bibliography about someone, books that the person reads. You can know a lot about the person. Like let's say you want to know about the President Obama. Just get a book and start reading about him. You're going to get to know a lot about him. Maybe his bibliography or something. You can read about him and you know about him. But ultimately, you're going to know so much about him. But if I come to you today and say, okay, you read about Mr. President Obama, but do you have a relationship with him? How much do you know him? Ultimately, you know about him, but you don't know him until you meet him and talk to him and have a personal time with him. In the same way, we have to have a personal relationship with God, personal time in prayer, personal time with God to be able to know Him. Just reading the Bible is not enough. We have to have that combined with prayer and meditation in God and listening to God. So how do you have a relationship with someone? Have you thought about someone that just talks? Someone that just talks to you? Are you having a relationship with the person or the person is just talking to you? You're actually just receiving. A relationship is made by giving and receiving. Giving and receiving. So we have to talk to God, but we need to listen to God. We need to give it time so God can also speak to us. And in this relationship with God, we need to go forth and back. And that's how we know we have a relationship with God. That we read His Word and we let the Word of God that that say that the Word of God cleans us. So it cleans the lens of the lighthouse. The Word of God helps us to walk through. And also the Word of God, then we can have a personal relationship with God and talk with God that way. So we're called to shine our lights in this world. We are called to shine our lights in this world. We are called to shine our lights here in the school. Where we go with our college or students, fellow students, on the church we go. But imagine this, if you have this whole room with these lights, and I turn a candle right here. Imagine the light that it will make, a candle right here. Imagine now I turn off the lights, close all the windows, every spot that have a light, I close it and make it really black. And I turn on the same light. What difference will make? We are called to shine our light in the darkness. And how we shine our light in the darkness? When we are effectively on where the darkness is. We need to go to the grocery store and shine our light. We need to go to the workplace where there's no Christian, people that don't know God, and shine our lights. We need to go to the mall and shine our lights, the grocery store, the restaurants where there's no people that don't know God, and shine our lights where they're most needed. Think where the light is most, where the lighthouses are most needed, where there's dangers, where there's darkness. That's where the light is most needed. We need to shine our lights in those places. And I'll make in mind the old little children's song that say, "This little light of mine, I'm going to shine." And you can sing with me. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine,